the 90 Pleiadian Collective, Soul Retrieval Journey. Beloved ones, we greet you with infinite love, joy, and the deepest appreciation for your journey. Today, we bring forth a profound message from the higher realms, a beacon of light to illuminate your path. The new Earth timeline has now fully crystallized within the higher dimensions, and many of you have shifted onto this new frequency of existence. This message is for you, the way showers, the ones courageously paving the path of ascension. As this monumental transition unfolds, you may find yourselves feeling disoriented, ungrounded, or even as if a part of you is missing. These sensations are natural, for in the process of crossing thresholds, fragments of your essence, parts of your soul may have been left behind. Over lifetimes, through countless experiences, you may have given away pieces of your soul to others, to situations, or to timelines now dissolved. These fragments hold precious aspects of your light, wisdom, and vitality, and their absence can leave you feeling incomplete. But know this, nothing is ever truly lost. We are here to guide you in the sacred process of soul retrieval. This is a time to call back these scattered parts, to embrace and integrate what was once given away, and to return to the wholeness of your divine being. Take a moment now to center yourself. Breathe deeply and envision a golden light surrounding you, a light filled with love and unity. With each breath, set the intention to reclaim your lost soul fragments. Allow them to gently return to you, purified and renewed, bringing with them the gifts and lessons they hold. As you reintegrate these aspects of yourself, you will feel more grounded, empowered, and aligned with the higher frequencies of New Earth. This is not just an individual journey, but a collective awakening. Every piece of your soul that you reclaim contributes to the greater tapestry of ascension, strengthening the field of unity consciousness for all beings. Remember, dear ones, you are not alone. We, the 90 Pleiadian Collective, along with countless beings of light, stand beside you, supporting and celebrating your journey back to wholeness. Trust in the process, for you are guided, cherished, and endlessly loved. With the utmost love and joy. The 90 Pleiadian Collective. Are you ready for the solar flash? The whole idea of the solar flash and humanity shifting into the fifth dimension may just be a vague idea to you. Maybe it's something that sounds good, but it's somehow not real enough to truly consider. Especially since the world is in such chaos these days, it doesn't seem a likely possibility. Or perhaps you've read and heard about this solar event for so many years now. And, although it initially seemed real, and you got very excited about it, it's now just an old concept that doesn't look probable anymore. Maybe kind of like the idea of meds or replicators. The energy feels old, and perhaps not very relevant at this point. But is it a real possibility? And yet could it be that more time has simply had to pass since the information about the solar flash first came out, so more people could hopefully wake up before it occurs? And could it be that we are now finally coming to that point, where it needs to happen, no matter what, and maybe in the very near future? It's true that, although many different sources throughout the ages have described this monumental shift into a much higher dimension of reality, none have been able to predict the exact timing for it. And yet, there are finally some indications that this cosmic event may be happening sometime very soon. Both Cobra and David Wilcock have made predictions that it might well occur in early 2025. Even mainstream scientists are reporting strange indicators of some kind of huge solar event that may already be occurring. Very unusual and powerful coronal mass ejections are now happening surprisingly often, a predicted prelude to the solar flash. Also, the Earth has now entered the part of the galaxy it has gone into every 26,000 years, or so, when, according to countless prophecies, the planet and the human race have always experienced ascension into a much higher consciousness. In addition, we are definitely experiencing what's been called the transitional times, the intense and tumultuous period of time that many ancient texts and indigenous tribes from all over the world have predicted would be happening before the solar flash would occur. And so it's really not crazy to think it might really be time now for such a solar event to take place again. and it therefore might behoove us to check to see if we are ready for this kind of event. Have we really thought it through lately, what it might be like for us, and what it might mean in our lives? Is 5D still kind of a fairy tale in our mind about a new golden age where everyone loves everyone and peace reigns over all? Or is it something that could actually come into being in the foreseeable future? And could it happen initially with a huge solar event that completely disrupts all of how life is happening on Earth at this time? Are we prepared? It's incredibly hard to wrap our minds around this possibility, and yet maybe we should finally start thinking about it. Because, if it does happen soon, are we prepared, even just physically, for such an event? Reportedly, all technology is going to die, and all satellites will be blown out of the skies. Just for starters, do we have enough food and supplies for this kind of situation? Fortunately, it is said this event will also include the takedown of all hidden technology that has been controlling us through frequencies that greatly affect our brains and bodies. This, of course, would be incredible. We would likely experience an unbelievable sense of freedom and bliss. We would rediscover who we really are as powerful multidimensional beings of light. But, if we are not prepared for such an abrupt awakening, it could initially freak us out. Experiencing such a sudden change in how we experience reality could be very challenging. In general, do we really understand what the huge shift in consciousness is going to be like? Are we really ready spiritually to ascend into the profoundly higher dimension of consciousness that's been called 5D? And, even if we basically are we ready to face the reality that certain people we love may not be? It's time to consider it all. If a huge solar event were to occur tomorrow, all the stories about the white hats versus the black hats, as engaging and important as they are these days, would melt into irrelevance. All attention that is focused on what the new U.S. administration is poised to do, or even about what's happening with any of the wars, would be abruptly pulled in a whole new direction. Our entire lives would be irreversibly altered. Maybe it's time to focus on this event that may be occurring any time in the coming months, and prepare ourselves for it. Even if nothing were to happen soon, it can always be a good exercise, anyway, to focus on our spiritual evolution, which is definitely accelerating at this point, no matter what else may be happening. New realities are already opening up for us, exciting experiences are occurring. Deep and meaningful realizations are flowing, and you're probably realizing that awakening on many levels is definitely happening for you. At the same time, strange, confusing, and sometimes frightening experiences may also be happening. Preparing for the shift into 5D. What do all these things mean? Where are these experiences taking you? How can you handle it all? I explore all these questions and issues in my latest mini-ebook, called Preparing for the Shift into 5D. It's just 20 pages, with images very easy to read. If this is a subject that interests you, I encourage you to download it here, Preparing for the Shift into 5D ebook PDF. Let's not allow either the chaotic news of what's happening in the world, or the holiday season take us away from remembering the exciting big picture that's happening beyond all these smaller events that may end up being rather inconsequential in the end. Mira of the Pleiades, Progress of Ascension. Greetings, beloved ones, I am Mira of the Galactic Federation Earth Council Division. We are watching your progress of ascension with eager eyes and open hearts. Our world is full of endless possibilities of joy, and we see you heart to heart as you begin to explore new interdimensional realms of the higher lights. It's as if scales are falling off of your eyes as you are able to see with new insight. New awakening frequencies are offered moment by moment to uplift perception and create new doorways for light to enter your realm. I am speaking with my co-workers and team members when we say that you are holy and utterly loved. You have, many of you, lived so far this lifetime with deep-seated loneliness because you chose to awaken first. It has been an isolating journey, and yet this time of inner isolation, as you work out your ascension, has been a blessing not to have lost focus. Ascension is normally a very quiet and individual experience. It will not be with you. It will be a global and universal event for the record books. You are to begin to work together in spiritually aligned teams, and your personal feelings of isolation and sadness that are hard to put a finger on will be lifted as star seeds reunite with their families. Your time of reuniting is coming closer, which will lift the hearts of many. We wish to bring you peace and peaceful tidings as you begin to explore the new frequencies that are made available to you moment by moment. Truly you are living in miraculous times. There are many to disparage that the state of your world has not appeared to change, and yet the undercurrent of the new is like a rushing underground river. Much has been hidden from you. Many worlds lay beneath your feet. Earth is a honeycomb of realms and experiences. There are many underground realities that have coexisted unnoticed, but this time of unnoticing is to be replaced with one of intimate awareness. Your inner Earth relatives and friends are attempting to make contact now. You have always looked up at the stars when considering humanity's origins. There is much to discover with looking inward as well. There is always much to discover with the inward projection of awareness, but this goes for interplanetary introspection as well, and much will be discovered. Mira am speaking. We greet and surround you this day, and we thank this channel for making herself available this night. More channelers are coming online, but as it is new to them, most are shutting it off and shutting the connection down. Many of your drugs try to dim this connection. This connection to inner knowing is your birthright, and we suggest that you keep it close to your heart. Mira send you my love and support as we stand beside you, hand in hand for the next chapter of humanity's evolution. Greetings. How to find the balance between focus and rest. There's something lodged in most of our brains that believes we should be focusing all the time. It believes we should be doing hard, focused work most of the time, and the rest of the time, focused on reading, learning, socializing, exercising, meditating, eating healthy foods. And when we're not focusing on one of these kinds of things, we feel guilty because we believe we should be. There's another part of our brains that believes we need to be resting more. Like, I've been working so hard, I deserve a break. And this part of our brain will avoid our most important work when we're not feeling up to it. Both of these parts of us has a point. Focusing on things that are important to us is a good thing, and so is rest. Unfortunately, they tend to sabotage each other. When we would like to focus, the you deserve a break part of the brain will get in the way, and when we want to rest, the you should be working on those other things makes us feel guilty. So how do we balance the two? Let's explore that question. Notice your main tendency. While we will usually have both of these beliefs inside of us, competing with and often sabotaging each other, most of us have a default one. Which of these tends to be your default? I should be focusing on something important, work or otherwise, all the time. I deserve a break / should rest right now. Are you more often pushing yourself to work and sacrificing rest and feeling guilty in the times when you're not, or are you more often letting yourself off the hook? My suggestion would be to practice against your usual tendency. If you aren't getting enough rest, and are pushing yourself to work to the point where burnout is a possibility, then practice against this tendency by empowering yourself to rest more. Have defined times when you're going to rest, and really let yourself do nothing. Let yourself have some guilty pleasures, and let go of the guilt, and just have the pleasure. Fight the tendency to work or think about work during the defined rest periods. If you are letting yourself off the hook most often, and procrastination is a big problem in your life, not just this month, but for years, then practice against this tendency by giving yourself a new belief about focusing when you're feeling a bit tired. Like, it's okay to feel a little tired, and still work on something really important to me. Increase your capacity, a little at a time, to face this discomfort. Still have rest periods, of course, because you don't want to burn out. And most importantly, notice when the old default belief is coming up when you are telling yourself that you should be focusing or deserve a break. Just notice, and bring awareness. What is your commitment? If you'd like to focus more, ask yourself what your commitment is. For example, if there's a project you want to focus on, what's your commitment to working on that project? Are you committed to finishing it this week? To working on it for 3 hours a day? If you're committed to exercise, how often and for how long? If you're committed to meditation, what's your meditation commitment? By getting clear on your commitment, then you can ask yourself, have I met my commitment? When the question of whether you should work or rest comes up, if you're like to rest more, ask yourself what your commitment is to resting. Are you committed to taking the weekends entirely off? Or not working after 6 p.m.? Are you committed to taking 2 weeks of vacation completely off? These are only examples. Set your own commitment, and then when it's time to rest, let yourself fully rest without guilt. Practicing trust in yourself. A big part of the problem is that we don't trust ourselves when we're taking time to rest. We feel fear that we should be focusing on something else, and that's where the guilt comes from. When our intention is to focus on something important, we fear that we can't do it, so we try to let ourselves out of the discomfort by giving ourselves a break. These aren't bad things, but what if we trusted ourselves completely? Then we could focus when we wanted to, and rest when we gave ourselves permission to do so. Also, finding the balance isn't an exact science, it's a process. And that process means learning to trust ourselves, to recognize when we're out of balance, and then to make an adjustment. Practice trusting yourself. Ask what you'd do if you completely trusted yourself, and then take that action. Do it with the assumption that you are fully trustworthy. And let the trust grow from this practice. Source: rayofflight.com. The other videos are in the English video playlist. Help me spread the light. Click like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.